blank mode, please.
You are so needy sometimes, you know that?
One job, Blue. One job. Okay, we do have some people that are liking it. We'll take it.
I was a huge fan.
Our viewer, we still have 61 people in chat, so it clearly, we didn't drop to 0, which was, you know, kind of the goal for the intermission, at least. That was a lot of fun. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it, because I enjoyed that too. It definitely, that was the first time. It was a little on the scuffed side, but we can work on it.
Yeah, we can get it down for sure.
Andy Mayer taking pole position for right now with a 2:17.3, leading over Danny Baisden in P2. Well, obviously.
And Danny Baisden, fantastic driver, a guy that I had the pleasure of talking to on multiple occasions. Does coaching currently with SOP Esports, driving that M4 GT3. Just fantastic guy to sit down and talk to. Knows a lot about the cars, knows exactly what he's doing and how to position these cars. Kind of surprised he's not in P1 right now.
I think that's about to change as he comes across the line and takes that P1 away from Andy Mayer by 3 thousandths of a second.
I think that's a reverse commentator's curse. What do you think?
I think so. That is insane. But 3 thousandths of a second separating these two drivers.
Also, Brandon Mayer was in our chat. He was wondering the number 2 car, making sure his livery worked. Currently, I have an all-gray livery for you. The number 2 car is currently sitting in P16.
I don't think I do. I think I got your livery. Yep.
That is not that is P2, not number 2.
I thought it was Andy Mayer. Oh.
No, Brandon Meyer.
I'm sorry, Brandon. Yeah, I do have your livery. Yes. Okay.
I unfortunately do not. That is my bad, but that is a very, very cool car.
I actually saw this in the Discord. I think this was posted.
Yes, yeah, he had a very cool glamour shot. But yes, great job by Brandon Mayer. He made it himself. He did all that work himself, so big kudos there. As he's currently getting hunted down, I believe that's Brian Canapan right behind him. Of course, Brian Canapan representing Yit Cows Racing. My racing team, so I'm a little biased on this one. I know commentators are supposed to have no bias, but I'm really rooting for, of course, my dude signed a long-term deal with Yit Cows Racing, and he's the lone Lamborghini on track as well. Oh no, he's not the lone Lamborghini. Ross Fallon pulling up in the Golden Bull, but Brian also participated in some SRO events, 2-time podium sitter. Also won the Box 3 NA Cup. So big shout out to him.
Kyle Hampshire is not on a lap yet. He is now coming out of the pits as we've hit the virtual checkered flag for the split 1 drivers. There's no splits.
It is. I think it's odds evens.
Yeah, I think you're right. The even numbers have already set their laps, so we will now see the odd numbers coming out on track.
Yeah, and one of the dark horses that I have here is Quinn Smith.
Ooh. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, you're
I just
fine.
want to say one thing before. Ed Kerstetter, someone who is looking to take pole position potentially there, absolutely clobbers the curb into the bus stop and ruins that lap. Go ahead.
Still, I mean, P7 for Ed, not a bad place to be. I think some guys in the other numbered cars could probably set a little bit faster. 217. He currently sits at a 217.5, but my dark horse pick for today is Quinn Smith. sitting in the Lexus, the number 10 Lexus. He did a 2:17.4, but the Lexus can really be pretty potent here because of the openness, the width that Spa has, and that Sector 3, it can fly. But I'm also a Lexus fanboy, so, you know, take what I say with a grain of salt, right?
Hey, I can respect it. We do have Ollie Raza, though, finishing his lap. Never mind.
Yep, he will be currently P5 as it stands right now.
Yep, and he stays P5.
Another really, really cool livery, flying private. That's Jet Engelman's team. He's assembled quite a team of racers. Oh, there's that beautiful Yit Cows Racing. Yes. Currently, the logo is so ghosted that you can't even see the YCR in Yit Cows Racing.
Lovely.
Because it's not on the car yet. That's
It hasn't. Our sponsors haven't quite gotten through with the money, and times are a little tight in the factory, so they had to skimp out on paint.
Being a totally real and not fictional racing team, you know, we got to crack down on these guys.
Wes Hepburn leading us away here.
Such an all-star cast that we have for this series. I love it.
Yeah, current pole sitter Danny Baisden with a 2:17.0. So flying out there, absolutely rapid. Andy Mayer not too far off the pace of the 2:17.3, and then Michael Mooning with a 2:17.3 as well, off the pace by 10. What?
Hundredths?
It's 1/10.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Or 100th, excuse me. Not
very, very close between Mooning and Mayer. And then not too terribly far away is Quinn Smith, and then right after them is Ollie Raza. But this top 5 is currently, as it stands right now, is very, very fast and very, very compact. So I think those 5 drivers are really going to be a chunk that we're going to have to watch throughout the race. They may not stay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I would assume that they'll probably stay pretty close together as we go racing.
You know, that's a really interesting question, Holly, or John Holly. I'm assuming you're Jay Holly, John Holly. It's going to be interesting to see on who compromises what. If we're going to see the faster setups trying to get the overtakes done on the Kemmel Straight, or people maybe trying to maximize their lap time and stay ahead in part of the tracks like this we're seeing with Kyle Hampshire currently. You can ride along with him. And through here, downforce is key. So you need to have a somewhat balanced setup through Spa, as through this 4.3 mile circuit, there's a lot of challenges to come. Top speed is not everything here at Spa-Francorchamps. We go number 501 and 369. The 501, of course, being the... I thought I would find it by now. There's a lot of cars on this grid. Where's the 501?
There is a lot of cars on this grid, and I would say, as far as Holly goes, I would say one of the biggest keys Spa is consistency and control. The two C's for these guys is going to be consistency and control. If you can set the same lap over and over and over again, as Nelly and Tim McGraw once sang, that is going to really, really help these guys maintain position and potentially gain positions.
The famous Nelly and Tim McGraw quote.
Over and over again. Fantastic song.
Daniel Versosa being currently on the bottom of the grid in our 44th position. We have 44 drivers on the grid here tonight, which is absolutely insanity. Big time
grid, full of all-stars too, like I said earlier.
And yeah, Banshee, that livery did come through nice and handy, so we can see it. And
he did correct me. He didn't do it all himself. I thought he did it all himself. So
Estefano Barrera taking that pole position with a 2:16.7. Hot damn!
Yeah,
what did this guy put in his cereal this morning? Holy smokes! That's the 369 car that we were seeing some love for in chat. No wonder I couldn't find him. He was at the top of the leaderboard. Too high up for me to see.
You're looking too low. Yeah, nice job there by Barrera, who that NSX is almost the best of both worlds. When I was talking about consistency and control-wise, it does tend to want to oversteer a little bit more than some of the other mid-engine guys, but it's a little bit nicer to you than, say, the Porsche as far as hopping in and driving, and its top speed is insane. It is very, very fast.
Ooh. As soon as I go on board with Estefano, he does understeer just slightly, but keeps it on track. Nailing the next corner. And Wes Hepburn jumps to pole position with a 2:16.4. Sheesh.
Also in the NSX, and Wes, the good old Berta boy, Wes Hepburn. We were talking in the paddock about some hockey. Good old NHL, big NHL guy, Toronto Maple Leafs fan. It's unfortunate, but it doesn't matter when you're sitting on pole.
I don't think he's going to be sitting on pole for that long. I think Barrera here is going to be stomping that pole position time once again with a invalid. No, he comes short by 0.05 of a second.
5,000?
Thousandths of a second. That's what I said. I was testing you. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, the
Wes Hepburn holds on to it by a freaking hair of his beard.
Wes Hepburn was also telling me earlier that he was very, very happy to not be in a BMW M2. He's been doing some BMW M2 Pro Series races, and he was very excited to hop back into a much faster Honda NSX for this series. But Wes does provide some great racing, and he's really fast, as we've seen today. But these top three times are smoking fast.
Yeah, and Estefano, he came back in the pits. I don't think he's going to have time to set another lap.
You know, if I'm Barrera,
yeah,
I'm going
Holy
to
smokes.
I'm sitting here thinking that's a fast time. That's, you know, we know that he can go faster than that. He knows he can go faster than that. But I think, you know, Bison's done. Bison's out. Your next closest competitor is Landry, and he's a second off of you.
Wes Hepburn, the Canadian here, currently is going faster, though. He's going faster than himself. And
currently, Wes, the only thing that he has to beat is himself. So
runs a bit wide out of the bus stop, but comes across the line, does make an improvement on his time, because why not?
I thought we were going to see a 2:15 out of Wes there, but not quite. Hey, man.
Ollie and Blanchett did the same times. Yeah, holy smokes, you're right. They did the 2:17, 5:17 each. The top 11 separated by 1 second here.
And that's the beauty of this series. And we talked about it at Suzuka last week during the qualifying sprints. Just the level of competitiveness, it was easy for me to say, right? The level of competitiveness between these guys is so cool and so fun to watch, because they are all so good at driving. Well, of course, we'll see how that goes through Eau Rouge and Radeon. My words might come back to haunt me there, but I'm very, very excited for this.
Still doing the exact same times on a 4.3 mile track. The human eye blinks in 0.2 of a second. So
yeah, they are separated by less than a blink of an eye.
Well, by less than a blink of an eye on about a multiplication level of thousands, about thousands of times faster. That's insane how quickly, like I said, that over the course of 4.3 miles, they maybe had a difference. Well, they had the exact same distance, but of 3 meters between each other when they were coming across, or even 3 feet. Wes Hepburn leading over Barra by 0.07 of a second. Danny Baisden a bit further down, 0.6 off, and Marc-Antoine Landry getting caught up in traffic, unfortunately, there.
And that Porsche has got to get out of the way here. Marc-Antoine Landry is hauling, but hey, if you're not on a faster lap, Carlos Guzman setting a fast lap for himself too, so That's a little bit of a... I thought that was Carlos Guzman in front of him. It is not. It is Jelson Cruz. So...
Carlos in this series?
Yep, Carlos Guzman, car number 139, sitting in the pink and black Aston on my screen.
I knew that.
Yeah, I knew you knew that. Yep. But Marc-Antoine Landry, I think what would be really cool is to do a little World Cup with these guys. See where everybody ranks. We got a lot of Canadians, Brazilians. We saw some Portugal flags in the support series. We got a lot of U.S. But I think that'd be pretty fun. See what kind of guys could come up with different countries.
Ooh. And Carlos Guzman invalidates on the final quarter. Was gaining about 5/10 on that lap. Could have potentially put him up a couple positions there, but he starts in P33. Oh my goodness, this is going to... Yes. I need to get on this grid rundown. This is going to be
let's go meet the drivers, Mike.
Let me take a drink of water before I do this. This is going to be painful.
Of course, before every race, Mike, Nause likes to go through and give us the lowdown on the driver and their grid position.
Mandatory.
Required.
Is this going to be a good camera angle? No, I don't think there is a good camera angle here at Spa. It's a good enough one. That'll do. Yes, plenty of hydrates in chat. I'm going to need it after this, as we have leading us away here of race 1 tonight of our GT3 Pro Series. 30 minutes on the clock. We have Wes Hepburn taking that pole position, number 501 Honda, followed up by Esteban Obera in the Honda as well in P2, Danny Baisden in P3, Ricardo Rivera qualifying in that 4th position, Marc-Antoine Landry in P5, Andy Mayer bringing up P6, number 992, Michael Mooning in P7, decent qualifying result from him, Quinn Smith in P8, Kyle Hampshire in P9, Ollie Raza bringing up that 10th slot. Kevin Blanchette in P11. Joseph Kostovich in P12. Ed Kerstetter in P13. Brian Knappman bringing up that 14th slot. Kevin Rivera in P15. Dominic Duran in P16. TJ Wash, the washed up squid himself, in P17. Mike Burkov in P18. Trevor Jackson qualifying in that 19th slot. Ross Phelan in P20, Bruno Pio in P22 in the Pigeon Race, P21, in the Pigeon Racing, Christian Sherrard in P22, Eric Chen in P23, Andreas Mostachero in P24, Brandon Meyer in P25, Jeremy Engelman in that Flying Private in P26, William Collin in P27, Casey Schutte bringing up that P28, Rocky Rocco lining up in P29, Dalton Oxborough in P30, Jason Provolone, P31, DeMarcus Rogers, P32 respectively. Carlos Guzman, P33. I'm Not Jimmy, bringing up that P34 slot. Jelson Cruz in P35. Bronson Turner in P36. Jose Guzman in P37. Aaron Kuhn in P38. Professor Canotis bringing up that 39th slot. And in P40, Ricardo Sapien. George Elmer in P41. Eric Cossian in P42. P43 belongs here to Matt, our team. Jonathan Boscato in P44, who we saw in the support race, and Daniel Versosa in the Lexus, bringing up that final slot in the 463 for P45. 45 drivers on this grid here tonight, all lined up and ready to go. The engines are now starting up.
And solid job there, Mr. Mike Nause, grinding us through that grid walk. And yeah, 45 of the 50 available slots that we had, we do have pretty much, I would consider this a full grid. This is a nice big grid. We have a mandatory pit stop for these guys. I assume fuel and tires, correct?
No, I think the same rules as the support race.
Cool. Makes things nice and fun. For those who didn't catch the support race, it is a 25-second mandated pit stop for fuel only, but it is a firm 25 seconds. Or you can take an extra 5 seconds to switch tires. So a little bit of strategery coming into play here. And stand by while I communicate with the guys in the truck on what I need to do. There we go. Thank you guys in the truck. Eric's chat message is interesting. Did you ever see Brian being in the teens?
Is he talking about your teammate?
My teammate? You mean my driver?
Excuse me.
That I pay large amounts of money to?
My bad.
He's currently sitting in
your
P14,
driver
Brian?
that pays you to be on the team. It's a paid
honestly,
driver.
Yes. A paid driver, yes. I wanted Brian Canapan to be in the teens. Well, as far as lap time, yeah, but I did not expect him to be in P14. No.
Yit Cow Racing with a
Yit
decent
Cows.
result here in qualifying. We'll see if they can carry this over into the race.
The 3-time. Yes, the 3-time. He sat on an SRO podium 3 times. He also won the Box 3 NA Cup Championship, which was fairly impressive because we had some pretty fast guys in that series. So I was pretty proud of him. Big shout out to Doggo rating us with 13. This is the big race. This is the GT3 Pro Series. I wanted to say brought to you by Sargento, but that's not it. That's
No, we're not brought to you by Sargento. Yes.
Yeah, that is the commentator's curse counter.
We're brought to you by Trackalicious, Box 3 and 949, all the wonderful communities here that make us and this grid possible tonight.
And apparently we need to be sponsored by Tim Hortons because Wes Hepburn, he got something in his double-double and Timbits sitting in P1 right now.
And Dogo, perfect timing on the raid and all the viewers because we are about to get into this race. 44 drivers on the grid here tonight. And it's going to be a hot one. This is the GT3 Pro Series.
I love the end viewers like you, yes. Yes, some good old PBS, some public broadcasting service speak. So you got any predictions for us, Mike?
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. There's a lot of driver names in here I'm not too familiar with. Barra, Wes Hepburn, honestly, Barrera, excuse me. I'm quite familiar with Wes as a person, but I'm not too familiar with him as a driver, honestly.
The pole time was a 2:16, Eric. I'm gonna be a little boring this race. I'm gonna go. I see Wes taking this one. My dark horse is. That's out of the top 5 is Quinn Smith because I like the Lexus here. So I've got Wes Hepburn taking the win, and I got Quinn Smith taking a podium. Sorry, Brian. Even though
I was about to say, and a podium for Yit Cow Racing. Obviously,
I would love to see my buddy Brian out of the beautiful state of California to get up into that. I think he could make a top 5.
He's got a lot of work, dude.
I see Kevin Blanchett also making the top 5. He knows how to drive a car, and he's consistent as all get out. So,
it's gonna be
there's your predictions. Let's see if we can make them true as these guys come up.
I got a good feeling for Kyle Hampshire. Starting down in P9, I don't think that's representative of his pace whatsoever.
It is late out there in the UK, so
I don't think that matters. Not for Kyle. Kyle's an absolute
he snorted some G Fuel and got it done.
But not tonight here. It seems like he didn't quite get it all together in the qualifying session. We'll see if he can get it together in the race. Got some Bruno Pio love, the Pigeon Racing, sitting a little bit further down the grid in P21.
And shout out to Andy Oak, who couldn't make the race tonight, but
and as we now see the drivers here lining up 2 by 2 Noah's Ark formation as we climb down the hill, getting ready to climb back up it towards the Kemmel Straight, up Eau Rouge and Radion. Drivers eager to get underway. It's 2 Hondas leading us away as we are about to go green here, and we're green at Spa, and it's a great start for P2, who's going to put immediate pressure onto the leader, but not quite. Actually has to go defensive from the 3rd position, but there everyone's squabbling, and there's contact round. This is not going to be good.
Not quite.
This is not going to be good. This is not going to end. Yeah, this is not going to end well. This ain't pro.
I wonder if we'll get a red flag.
I'm unsure. It's tough to say because we do have drivers still racing. Up at the front, P1 and P2 have walked away quite a bit. Most drivers are recovering fairly well. I think everyone's going to have a little bit of a race for themselves down the field. Michael Mooning up into P5 has gained a couple positions, I'm pretty sure.
And that was just a rough shunt for Ricardo Rivera and Danny Bisden getting together, and the feeling was not mutual there.
Yes. Thank you, Jimothy, for the follow.
But yeah, look at this. The battle for 1 and 2 is on. No matter the hectic happenings behind us, Hepburn and Barrera, this is going to be a bit of a dogfight. Danny Bisden. He's sitting in P3 right now. Penalty inbound, I would assume, for Danny Bisden, but we'll see. I'm not a steward, right?
Yeah, I didn't go back and see what happened on that one. I didn't really want to. Teammates fighting for P1. I'm not sure if they're teammates. We have the Fusion Racing team and the FRT Honda. No, so they just have both have black liveries, unfortunately.
Mike. FRT, Fusion Racing Team, and Fusion Racing Team. They're teammates. Atomic Beauty is, of course, the #1 supporter of Wes Hepburn, being his life partner. So I think she knows.
You know, I knew that. I was just testing you.
I figured.
That was.
I don't want to make Mike Nause look bad on stream. Absolutely not. So he's making me look really good on stream. How about that? But Andy Mayer looking to put some pressure down on Danny Bisden, and Mooning and Hampshire looking like that battle's going to get spicy. Marc-Antoine Landry not letting anyone relax. Look at this top 10, Mike. Wowzers. Oh, TJ washed. Big shunt going up through a Rouge there.
You know, Forzy, it's funny you mentioned that because I legit watched this clip, like, before I started the stream. That clip that you're talking about before I started the stream of Murray Walker commentating that. So maybe that was... Ooh, Ferrari just bottoming out at the bottom of Radeon.
The 488 Evo suspension versus Eau Rouge Radeon complex is not a good time. So I know for a fact I was talking with the man known as Race Zeus, or Christian Sherritt, and he was having a tough time in practice getting that down, but felt like his race engineers were able to help him out a little bit. As Christian Sherritt, the man in question, car number 120, sitting in P26 as it stands right now.
I wanted some energy before the stream, so I watched some Murray Walker highlights. And
not a bad...
Oh, hold on, though. Side-by-side action from Mostachero and Provolone. The stinky cheese man trying what he can to get around the likes of the BMW, but struggling.
Not a bad idea, going with some Murray Walker. Murray Walker, James Hunt content, maybe?
No, well, I did get a little bit of that, but, you know. How many cars retired? Let's take a look. That's a good question. I don't actually know if any did.
We had 45, so 2.
All right. So only 2 drivers. No, we have 44 drivers still.
Oh, yes, we do. So 1 car. Excuse me. Thank you.
Holy smokes, Mad Moses with a rating party of 17. Thank you very much, guys. We are currently just underway in our 30-minute race here. This is the Pro Series at Spa. The race wasn't the most pro, unfortunately, but that's all right. The leaders have a pretty decent gap to the rest of the field comparatively.
And to be totally honest, even with the happenings at Eau Rouge Radeon, these guys have cleaned it up and really come back together pretty nicely as far as racing goes. Also, shout out to Mad Moses. I believe that's Chris Moses. Very, very good racing driver himself.
Yeah, also an awesome streamer.
Yes.
If you aren't followed,
cool,
make sure you guys go check him out. Same with Dogo as well. Dogo, awesome streamer.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of streamer love in here. Christian Sherritt, also known as Race Zeus. Kyle Hampshire. Kyle Hampshire streams as well. How do the points work? I believe it's linear, so P1 is 50, and then so on and so forth. Mike, you want to correct me on that if I'm wrong?
Yeah, I can give you a rundown of how the points work really quickly in a second. I will now have them. Okay, P1 gets 70 points, P2 with 64, P3 with 59, P4 with 54, P5 with 50. It's weird, man. It's weird. Here, you know what? Why don't I have a way better idea. I'm going to post a link in chat. There you go. If you are interested in how this scoring works, I have a link to SimGrid that explains it to you.
Well, I just would have really loved listening to you shout out the numbers of all the points. That would have been pretty funny.
I was not going all the way for sure, no. And actually, I think I sent are the points the same? I think I sent the wrong. I had one job and I sent the wrong one.
Man, I'm loving the battle for P1, P2 right now, of course. There are a couple other battles on track right now. Mike Mooning in the 18 Mercedes, currently sitting in P5. He's getting hunted down by the Canadian and the man out of Manchester.
Ignore the first link I sent. That one's...
Click the second link.
That one's for the P Cup. That's my bad. Looks like the Pro Series is scored differently. So,
got word out of the Brazilian's paddock that Daniel Versosa has retired the car.
Unfortunate for him.
Killing his laptop. Looks like it was an electrical issue.
Oh no.
18 frames per second.
Kyle Hampshire looking to make a move there onto Michael Mooning, but backs out of it. Kyle Hampshire starting in P7 up to P6, and or starting in P9. So. Excuse me. Up 3 positions so far, and looking to make it a 4th.
You had that pinned from the start. That was your prediction that he wasn't going to finish lower than where he started. Right, that pace that he had in qualifying was a little off for Kyle Hampshire, but sitting P6, and he's got quite a battle happening in front and behind him, because he's got to hold off Marc-Antoine Landry of the 711 Audi, and then he's going to try to hunt down Mooning. But he's got 22 minutes to close this gap and hopefully be himself in the top 5 position.
Ooh, Professor Chronotis is all over Dalton Oxborough here in the McLaren. Definitely has the pace. We'll see if he can manage to get this overtake done this lap. Probably going to be trying to make a look into the bus stop. Well, that's going to help carry the speed, running a bit wide there, but is going to lose some time as well.
And look at that, the gap between, it's Ricardo Rivera right behind him out of Puerto Rico, and the other Aston there. And Chrono trying to hold off, but he's going to have the outside line here. And he's just going to get swallowed up by Ricardo Rivera. Yeah,
they're just unlapping themselves. That's not actually for position, but I'm not Jimmy there in that pink Aston Martin. That is for position, who's going to be going side by side not along with the Porsche. The Porsche is not for position.
You are right. I'm wrong. But yeah, James Rolfe, nice move right there.
And I'm not Jimmy does get the job done there.
I love that he doesn't use I'm not Jimmy. It's very funny that he does not use his name. He uses a little gamer tag. Very Xbox of him. But yes, Jimmy Rolfe. Big time LFM guy. Loves running the LFM. Loves the Aston Martin. Runs Pan Am, helps run Pan Am Motorsports, sim racing. Pretty cool little community. They do a bunch of events. They got a 24 Hours of Barcelona coming up. So a little shout out to those guys. Chris, yes, there was, to answer Moses' question, yes, there was a little bit of a doozy in Eau Rouge Radion.
A little bit's a bit of an understatement.
Hey man, I'm trying to play PR here, okay?
Yeah, oh, my Porsche's off drifting in the grass. Don't mind Andy Mayer. That was for position. Kyle Hampshire gets by.
And Kyle Hampshire sees himself in the top 5 and goes a little wide through Pouan there.
Under pressure from Landry. This is going to give the Audi a really good opportunity. The 711 car coming into the chicane, and looks like he's going to keep the nose ahead. Very nice entry speed there, maximizing the minimum apex speed for Landry over Kyle Hampshire there.
Nice battle between those guys, not to make contact, but just really, really dictating their lines. And Landry had a game plan going into that. He wanted that inside line, which then turned into an outside line for Kyle Hampshire. So nice job by those two, and they're still close. Kyle Hampshire not wanting to, he didn't stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning his time to finish P6.
No, he did not. And he is going to be working his way up here with Marc-Antoine Lantry, the Canadian Frenchman, and Kyle Hampshire going for the undercut. We'll see if this pays off. This is what you were talking about in the support series. Is it going to be beneficial to go for that undercut early or not? In the Porsche Cup series, it seemed like the undercut wasn't the most effective.
The pit lane here is just a slog. So it is a little interesting to see guys going for an undercut. 18 minutes left in the race. Maybe they're thinking just get the pit out of the way early, and then maybe make up some positions while these guys are in the pit because the pit lane is so long. So as we see Jelson Cruz, I believe that was Jelson Cruz leaving the pit. So definitely some strategeries going on here right now.
And we see some Lexus action here, almost going 3 wide. Eric Gukasi and Dalton Oxborough, along with a Lexus of George Elmer, all sorting themselves out relatively.
Yeah, nice pick there, Elmer. I'm liking that. Of course, podium sitter for our Porsche Cup series, so he's going from very interesting car selection, going from a Porsche Cup car into the very beefy, chunky Lexus, as he's looking to make a move on. Is that Eric Gukasi? That is the boss man, as he's known.
Oh, but just not late enough on the brakes, or actually maybe that was too late on the brakes for Eric, and Eric goes a little too deep into the chicane, which compromises his minimum speed there, but he keeps it going as the Lexus actually ran wide, which affected his line as well.
Not hard to do in the Lexus. It is a little bit of an understeer machine, but nice driving there by Eric to, again, another situation where he had a game plan of what line he wanted to take and what line he wanted to force Elmer to take.
Yeah, and I love that. My undercut didn't work because I crashed twice and ran out of fuel. You know what? That might influence it just a little bit.
And I'm liking the hot takes in the chat. Moses with some strategy here. The overcut is usually better for track position, and the undercut is good for when the pace and tires fall off. So maybe that's what we're seeing here. Is Danny Beisden also is going to hop into the pit lane.
And Quinn Smith in the Lexus up in 6th position.
Hey man, I'm liking it. I'm a happy camper right now. Seeing the Lexus get some serious love here.
Yeah, Hampshire in a clear track definitely is going to be better pace than he had because he was absolutely stuck where he was. So coming out into a clear track, we'll see what sort of times he can lap. I'd imagine maybe he took fresh tires. Just adds an additional 5 seconds, so probably. This pit lane being extremely, extremely long, basically like putting you a lap down just by pitting from people who haven't pit.
I was trying to see how long he was in the pit for. Let me see. He was in there for 1 minute and 44 seconds, so I don't think he took. I think he just took fuel because I want to say it's 1 minute to get all the way through the pit lane, or like 1.5 minutes, something like that. So someone in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, which I say a lot in these streams.
That is the nature of talking for a couple hours, unfortunately, is saying a lot of things. But Barrera and Wes Hepburn have managed to stick with each other this entire race.
Not going to. This is a great race for FRT to be 1-2, and you got to think there might be a little communication here. If one of their paces falls off, they just kind of flip-flop there. So of course it's not a team-based event. So Barrera probably does want to get that win position, but the Canadian not letting it happen.
I would imagine there's not going to be any team orders for those two, as they have a 10-second gap to Michael Mooning in third, so they can afford to scrap just a little bit as long as you don't crash into each other or put another one into the barrier.
Called content, boys, content. And yes, to answer Moses' question, it is a 25-second minimum, just like the LFM pit stops.
Yes, as well as
And-
additional 5 seconds if you would like to take a tire change.
Oh, Wes Hepburn hitting the pit lane.
Yep, he did come into the pits at the end of last lap, along with Jeremy Engelman coming in. Everyone I seem to switch to is coming into the pits.
Yep, we got Marc-Antoine Landry, Kerstetter, Quinn Smith, Cologne, and Engelman, as you said. Excuse me, as you said earlier. We also have Rogers leaving the pit lane. So the number 47, currently sitting in P33. Mike Burkhoff was in Australia earlier today, actually. He was racing in the Box 3 season finale for the Pro Silver Split. So quite a racking up those flight miles for Mr. Burkhoff.
Nice livery.
Yeah, the Ferrari pig.
I like it.
Unfortunately, my liveries are glitched out right now and they're not loading, so I'm going based off what I'm seeing on your screen. I'm liking the number plate on the front and then along the side too. Look at this, Ricardo Sapien. Oh, I thought he had a move there.
I thought he did too.
He just kind of lost it. Carlos Guzman in the 139 Aston pulls away. I don't think this battle is totally over, however.
No, not just yet. We'll see if he can manage anything here coming into the bus stop. We see Wes Hepburn. He's going to be coming out of the pits, our previous race leader. Coming out in extremely clean air.
Yeah, and P7, so top 10. I still have him pinned as my winner right now, but Ed Kerstetter and Marc-Antoine Landry also bouncing out of the pit lane. And looks like Barrera heading into the pits right now.
Yeah, we'll see where he comes out relative to our previous race leader. They were separated by about a second. We have Michael Mooning, our third position, coming in as well. Kevin Blanchette in, well, now third. Everyone's coming in. Everyone.
Yeah, I'm not Jimmy or James Rolfe. He is coming out of the pits. Oxborough now leaving the pits in that really, really cool colored McLaren.
Brandon Meyer getting by I'm Not Jimmy there after the pits.
Yeah, and the pit, of course, the pit exit here is pretty interesting and can be a little volatile too. Can cause some content, as we call it, right? But nice move there and good racing by Brandon and Jimmy.
Cronotis and Fallon here fighting it out. Fallon all over. Cronotis defending like a madman. We'll see if that 42 has the pace in it to stick with the defense for now. Not sure. That Lamborghini is looking awfully rapid. Last lap, lapping 4/10 faster than Professor Cronotis to... Oh, wait. Yes, no, last lapping 4/10 faster last lap. With a 2:20.6 from Cronotis and a 2:20.2 from Fallon.
Yeah, and then, of course, right behind Cronotis and Fallon is Andres Montecchero, who is getting a little sneaky, gets a little wily off the curb there, but, you know, he's hunting down these two, and if they keep scrapping, I think it's going to be an easy double overtake for Montecchero. There goes Elmer, Burkhoff, Jared.
There we go. That's who I wanted to click on, as I wanted to see who comes out ahead here. Wes Hepburn is going to stay ahead.
Oh, man.
He gained quite a bit there from pitting earlier than Estefano.
And Barrera sitting P2. And it looks like things are reverting back to the way they were, right? As Thanos once said, perfectly balanced, as they should be. Barrera, Bisden coming in P2 and P3, and Mooning the Chris Moses pick in P4.
We have Jose Guzman making gains on Aaron Kuhn here for P19. We'll see what he can get done onto the Kimmel Straight in that Aston Martin versus the McLaren here. Really good. Oh, and that's going to be a way compromised exit unless Aaron Kuhn, it looks like he does stick flat on it throughout it, is going to defend the position. We see the Aston tucking into the slipstream, giving him a flash, a little frustrated with what he just saw there. but tucking out of that slipstream, trying to make a move into the chicane. He backs out of it, thinks better of it, but forcing the McLaren into a bit of a mistake. It forces him wide,
wow.
and that's going to give the position to the Aston Martin.
Yeah, nice job there by Jose, just staying patient, picking the battle, and making it stick. A little bit of maybe psychological move there by the Guzman brother to flash the lights coming down the straight, but I could see why he would be frustrated. And Aaron Kuhn now getting hunted down. I believe that's another Aston of the Flying Private team.
Yes, the stinky cheese man himself, Jason Provolone, one of chat's favorites out there on track. Number 82, hunting down the McLaren, and we see yellow flags from Professor Canotis and Ross Phelan.
Oh, no. Yeah, Ross Phelan out.
Let's go back and see what happens. We see side-by-side action here. We're going 3 wide. Holy smokes. What were we missing? Through Blanchard, but we're going to go through Poulan 3 wide. Yeah, okay, that's not going to work.
Oh. Ross Phelan goes sideways.
Wow, he gets nailed.
Yeah, that's Sherrod there.
That's going to be some massive rear end damage for it.
Chris Sherrod taking a chunk off of his front end too, and the Ferrari is pretty not as aero dependent as say the McLaren, but it is fairly aero dependent, so that's gonna hurt Christian Sherrod. It's hard not to call him by his Twitch name, I gotta say, but
DeMarcus Rogers getting caught up behind the wounded Lamborghini. The wounded horse as it tries to keep going here. It's a bull? I knew that. I was just testing you.
Yeah, and I feel for Ross Phelan running really competitive battle between Mastachero and Chronotis, and like you said, going 3 wide into that downhill section of Poulan is just not gonna work. He is compromising quite a bit.
Yeah, compromised on downforce clearly, as coming into the bus stop chicane there, DeMarcus Rogers is going to get by Ross Phelan, as Ross Phelan completely outbrakes himself because he has a brand new car underneath him, but not brand new in the sense that it just came out of the factory, brand new to him in that it, just took a massive hit.
Rocky Rocco trying to get past him as well. Jason Provolone probably getting a little frustrated that he keeps seeing the back end of this McLaren.
Interesting, we have Brandon Meyer and I'm Not Jimmy, the number 2 and the number 1 car next to each other on track for P19 and P20, but
love it. Love it.
Representing those low numbers.
And Brandon Meyer, some severe damage to the front end of that Aston Martin. Doesn't want to, I don't believe he's made a pit stop yet, so that is definitely going to be something that he'll have to strategize as well, whether he wants to fix that bodywork damage or just kind of let it ride. But James Rolfe hunting him down right now, the Vancouver native coming down on Brandon Meyer.
As well, I'm currently on board here with Aaron Kuhn chasing down Jose Guzman. We saw a very good attack from Jose Guzman earlier, but how can he handle the defense? Ooh, that is not the optimal way through Blanchard.
And I'm kind of wondering if Aaron Kuhn's a little frazzled right now after the move by Guzman, and I'm wondering if there's something going on with the car, because he has kind of messed up a couple corners. Taking it better than me, but has messed up a couple corners. Let's see if he makes it dive down inside of the switchback.
Holy smokes! He almost gets rear-ended from Jason Provolone. What a lovely switchback. Carries the speed on the exit, and that's going to give him a side-by-side chance here into Eau Rouge Radion we go, and that's going to be the advantage to the Aston Martin, and they do make contact, and that was inevitable. That Aston Martin bounces back into the track and is going to be stranded in the middle. That's a terrible spot to see a car stranded.
And that is severe compromise there, and going too wide.
Oh no, and he makes Ricardo Sapien ends up collecting the stranded car of Jose Guzman, turning his race from even worse, and he returns to pits immediately.
Yeah, taking the tow truck back, and that's a rough go for Ricardo Sapien. sitting on the side of the track. I do not blame him, but I understand what Jose was trying to do. Sapien's also going to take the tow truck back to the pits. I understand what Jose was trying to do there. He's trying to get off the line. I think he was trying to just get the car going and get away from traffic. Didn't quite help, and you're going up that hill and you can't see.
No, it's a blind crest, and I would imagine after a hit like that, his steering was not exactly straight. So
yeah, that was a suboptimal situation for everybody involved. There was a car that did get away, though. I want to say it was Chronotis.
I'm not sure. There was one that managed to, or a couple, I think, that managed to miss it. But that was just a very inevitable contact, I think, coming into the Eau Rouge Radion. Neither driver wanting to yield, and well, see what happens.
You tested what's under the hood, and unfortunately, you found out what's under the hood because it popped open, right? So
yeah,
definitely a suboptimal situation, like I said. It's racing, right? They did make, now I will say Aaron Kuhn did make contact with Guzman just before that in La Source as well. So we'll probably see some penalties happening between those two.
Very nice racing. I'm not sure who was ahead to begin with in this engagement, but we see Andreas Mastachero holding that inside line coming into T1 now with that Aston Martin hot on the tail. I think the Aston Martin had the position initially.
Yeah, I want to say Mastachero climbing through. The no-name Coconut Sensations Canadian running straight through. Of course, was battling Chronotis and Ross Phelan. Ooh, a little bit of that could have been a track cut warning there.
Could have been in the barrier.
We haven't seen any DTs for track limits yet. We got about 2 minutes left in the race, so we're probably going to see some bold moves here.
Ooh, we actually do have a drive-through penalty that has already been served from Ali Raza. Ali Raza down here in P37 had to serve a drive-through penalty at some point for exceeding track limits, potentially.
That is a doozy.
Where's Pio?
Wes Hepburn.
Question. Where is Pio? Let's see. He's doing pretty well. He's up in P15, the number 14 car, trying to make a name for his number. Has to get the Yitcow Racing Lamborghini in front of him here. But about 2 seconds to go to gain on him. And Wes Hepburn coming onto that final lap a good bit in front of Barrera.
Yeah, I think I was seeing the gap of almost 5 seconds between P1 and P2. And Tracklicious' own Mike Burkhoff hunting down Andy Mayer. Of course, Andy Mayer having a little bit of a spin earlier on. Putting him down into P10. We've seen what Andy Mayer can do previously, so definitely not a P10 driver for sure. Marc-Antoine Landry and Mike Mooning, they're about to connect potentially. Less than a second between those guys. Pedal on the right. Marc-Antoine, pedal on the right. Let's go.
That's also a message here to George Elmer, who's chasing down Eric Gakassian for P27 here at Lexus, number 22.
Yeah, loving that pressure, applied pressure on Eric Gakassian. Let's see how Eric the boss.
Yeah, George Elmer, he's got one more lap to go, but he's applying pressure to that wound like a tourniquet. We'll see what he can end up doing here on the final lap.
Also, to answer Chris's question in chat, Brian Canapan has taken quite a break from racing. He's been on vacation, taking care of some real life stuff, so he hasn't had a whole lot of practice time. That is the doozy that is P14 right now.
Sounds like you're making excuses for your racing driver.
for my driver. Yeah. No, he was already making excuses previously. George Elmer taking a little bit of a Williams Esports line there to get past Eric Gakassian, but he gets it done.
Ooh, Joseph Kostovich in the 949. What is he doing down here?
I want to say he was a part of the Eau Rouge Radion lap 1 incident.
Must have been, yeah. Down 14 positions from the start. And we do have our leader, though, Wes Hepburn coming across the line to finish the race here. Race 1 of our Pro League. Alfonso Barrera in second position. Danny Baisden not too far behind either in the Area 52 BMW. It's a Honda BMW finish here at Spa. We have the Sky Tempesta racing car of Michael Mooning in 4th, Marc-Antoine Landry in 5th, Ed Kerstetter in 6th, Kyle Hampshire in P7, Kevin Blanchett in P8, Quinn Smith bringing up that 9th position, Andy Mayer in P10, and Mike Burkhoff for P11, and so on, Eric Chen and more.
And my prediction did in fact come true. Wes Hepburn taking the W. And our 1, 2, 3 stayed identical, so nice job there as it stands right now. Anyway, I'm also liking Kyle Hampshire as it stands. He moved up quite a bit.
Oh my goodness, there's some side-by-side racing to the end. Carlos Guzman picks up a drive-through on the final lap as well.
That is insult to injury there.
Kostovich with the switchback. Can he get it done before the line? He doesn't have long to go, and I don't think he's going to get it. The McLaren is going to hold the position. Beautiful defense from Bronson Turner there at the end against that 949 Ferrari. How long till next race?
Way to go.
Probably about 5 minutes, give or take, till we hit the next qualifying session, I would say.
That's right. It's a 45 next, correct? Or it's another 30?
I don't know.
Your guess is as good as ours. He is, Marty Missile. He did. I saw Carlos Guzman dive into the pits.
Oh, lame.
Dead last.
Cody Blanton with a hydrate. Love to see it.
Big shout out to Cody Blanton. Also a very, very fast young man. Big Porsche guy.
Jason Provolone in chat. Welcome back. Great race indeed. And let's see here. We are going to be waiting to hop into the next session. We can pop over to the booth, I suppose.
We can pop over to the booth. Yes. I am.
Yeah, we have figured out a system.
Oh no. So there's a driver's briefing going on currently between race 1 and race 2. The drivers will get briefed on safety regulations as well as lines to take.
And most importantly, lines not to take. I think that is going to be the main one, because we did have a couple.
Absolutely, Cody. I'm glad to Brown knows the fast guys. Maybe you can toss me a free coaching session every once in a while. You know, sort of trying to network here. All right.
He needs it.
Ouch. Ouch. You're not wrong. You are not incorrect with your statement, but ouch.
What can I say? I'm honest. And I guess now that I think about it, redeem that hydrate. Now that we're on stream, get the massive water bottle out.
Yeah. I do not. My water jug is empty. So my water jug is empty and my bladder is full. So thanks for redeeming a bunch of hydrates, guys. I really appreciate that. Considering how far up the field the crash happened, it was surprisingly a small pileup. I think it came down to really good avoidance by some guys, but it did cause some bumps here and there. So that could be why. I love the broadcaster's desk. Thank you, Moses. We love having you here to see the broadcaster's desk.
Yes, indeed.
Eric spared zero expense, and got us really nice chairs, and the super nice desk that we sit on. Looking at Rocky Rocco's.
I'm just trying to get trying to get something decent in the camera shot. That's all, and we're working on it, just so we can. It's just better than looking at nothing, and this is we're getting there.
And next week I will have liveries for these guys. I feel bad.
Oh, I can wait. No,
one guy is in a tie. The other guy is in a quarter zip sweater. But Mike goes all out. I'm in what's comfortable. So
When you said tie, I didn't even consider the fact that you were talking about this. I thought you meant like that they tied, like in results, and I'm like,
No.
what the heck is this
No.
man talking about? No, I am wearing a tie.
You're in a. Is it a clip-on?
No, it's not a clip-on.
I think it's a clip-on.
No, it's definitely not. You could yank this thing as hard as you want.
Can we get chat's opinion if it's a clip-on?
You can also tell because like every time I haven't straightened this. I don't know. Chat, do you iron ties? Like I need to know.
I think you do.
Because it's getting wrinkly, as you can see in this little area. It's getting a little. Every time I tie it, it gets more and more floppy. So it needs to get less floppy. That makes
more or less floppy.
Yes.
Green light. Go, go, go.
All right. Well, the
Green
drivers
light.
the drivers are currently still in a driver's briefing.
The Walmart zipper ties. I'll have you know. I'll tell you, this tie is coming off. Just give me 5 minutes. The drivers are going to be coming back on track.
Mike, we don't need you to get undressed to prove a point.
We're not
unless you want to.
We're not getting undressed. We're currently looking at this beautiful crowd that is the least exciting thing in ACC. So let's look at something interesting, like these cars. Which we have 20 minutes on the clock here in qualifying. We will be seeing the drivers lining up.
Marty Missile almost fell asleep, or did fall asleep during F1 this morning.
Not boring. You hit drive and blank.
Okay, yeah.
I just like look. I've been starved from F1 for like months, so I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah, Automatic Rabbit. I do not own. I do own a tie. Have I worn it?
Wait, you own a tie? It's ties required. I've told you this.
I thought I told you that. No, I don't. No, I don't wear the corporate noose. Not a chance, man.
If you own one, why not?
Hill was interesting. I thought I was clearer than a random Porsche came and punched me out of nowhere.
And Rabbit, I own two ties, by the way.
Carlos, it wasn't a Porsche. It was Ricardo Sapien in the Mercedes that labeled you.
Evan Rivera? We don't need to start this again.
Oh. Hot Pockets are calzones, I think is what we decided last time.
Yes,
right?
and so are Pop-Tarts. Which
Pop-Tarts are raviolis.
No.
Pop-Tarts are 100% ravioli. Yeah.
We're not getting into this right now. This is...
So I believe the driver's briefing is completed. So these guys are well aware of the driving standards and what needs to be done as we are in the Trackalicious GT3 Pro Series. Mike, I have my entire Monday night free tomorrow. What should I do?
You know what you should do while I get up the calendar is you should look on SimGrid, if anyone wants to type !SimGrid in chat, and you can see that we have these wonderful, wonderful events known as the GT4 Rookie Rookie Pro Series. Yes. The Rookie GT4 Series, which is on Mondays. My boy Blue, who is in the booth with me today, is a part of it. And oh wait, it said it did the SimGrid literally. All right, whatever.
As I typed it into the chat, yeah,
it
was
knew.
Really weird.
It knew.
Yeah.
But if you are interested, it is full on SimGrid. But don't let that scare you, because if it isn't full in the race, then you have the ability to sign up as a reserve. Well, you should sign up as a reserve driver, and then if it isn't full, you will be able to make it in.
Yes, sign up as a reserve driver. I am actually not able to make this round of Monday Night GT4s, and I'm bummed, super bummed. But please join. It is a ton of fun, and if you are newer to league racing, it teaches you how to drive in a league. It teaches you how to drive with other people, and it is just a ton of fun, great learning experience. And even if you aren't new and you want to drive some GT4s, they are a ton of fun. I was not a big GT4 guy until running in that series, and I made some good friends. Kyle Hampshire, who's racing in this series, Corey Hampshire's brother, Justin Seckham. Couple shout outs there to those guys. So,
and thank you, Sleeto for the follow, much appreciated. Thank you guys all for being here, as we have 80 plus people in the chat. I think there are 60.
What's the next like follower goal? I think what would 1,500?
We haven't discussed this yet. Look, the fact that we made it to 1,000 kind of happened out of nowhere.
The fact that we made it to 1,000 is incredible, and it is as I think Marty Missile, someone earlier said, to viewers like you. I think that was Holly, actually. But
no, thank you guys so much for being a part of this community and helping us do what we do, because it gives us motivation and yeah, gives us a reason.
And Lord
to smile.
knows that the less time that Mike and I are on the track, the better, because we're hazards.
Yes.
We're much better about talking about racing than we are actually racing. So. And of course, if you guys are enjoying the stream, the subscribe option is always available. I'll do a shameless plug here.
Do it.
The subscribe
Plug
option
away.
is always available and gets the ads out of the way, supports us, helps us stay motivated to keep doing this, which probably will never go away, but it doesn't hurt. And of course, if you have a Prime sub, it's totally free, and you only get one. If you use it on us, we really appreciate it. So.
Yeah, GT4s are underrated. I will say it is really cool to see that that has been like our most popular series. It looks like it is now being beaten by our GT3 Pro Series, though, from popularity. But we will see. 218-1 from Kevin Blanchett to start us off.
We have another all-star chat name. Awful Falafel. Man, that is great.
Wow, my brain couldn't work out that name. I'm glad
we
you
have
got
we
that.
have Nacho. What was it? Nacho Donkey and Awful Falafel. Those are the two reigning champs as far as names go.
From today, yes.
From today, yes. Assbox will always. I think Assbox probably takes the ring.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I think we saw Assbox in chat earlier. I think he posted a face in chat, and that was it.
I think he's streaming. Why is 97 out there? I think they're doing odds right now.
No.
Oh no, Kyle is just Kyle's being a silly little goose.
Yeah.
He may have gotten a pass.
I don't know. 97's out there though. You are in fact correct. Good spot there, Atomic.
Yeah, well, when it's the life partners competition out there on track, she's got to crack down. DSQ. He wants to start from the pits to avoid.
You know?
I need to confirm from that.
No,
Kev.
I don't think he's being serious.
He could be.
I don't think he is. I really hope he's not.
Danny Bison setting a 2:17.4. Of course, we saw a lot faster times from Mr. Bison. Carbon, as he's known on Twitch.
Yeah, we're in optimum track temps. I didn't see what it was at the end of the last qualifying session, unfortunately, but it is looking a bit slower. We're about a second off of what we were seeing from the last qualifying session. We were down into the 2:16s.
Yeah, now that was the second set of drivers, so I think our even drivers or our odd drivers, excuse me, might be a little faster than our even guys. I want some Hepburn onboard for quali. Yeah, I think we gotta keep the onboards a secret.
You gotta redeem it.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta use your channel points to redeem that. That way you don't save up your channel points to put us into a dinosaur costume and racing suit.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that. That'll be so much fun. That's right, folks. If you show up every week and chat a bunch and show up and interact with us, you get channel points, and those channel points can be used to make Mike and I suffer an entire stream in a race suit and a dinosaur costume.
Yes, indeed. It's only 75,000 points. So,
all right.
spend them wisely.
I will staff oppression. You betcha. Also, Atomic Beauty, I will redeem I'll redeem an onboard for Wes when he's out there, just for Danny Bison.
There we go. We got it.
I do have red hair. Oh, damn.
Hepburn. All right, we can.
He's not out there yet.
We will get some Hepburn action though.
Hepburn dominance, Gabor fans. Yeah, he's. I am waiting for the Tim Hortons sponsorship and the Tim Hortons livery to come about. That would be great.
Is this future sponsorship deals from the Yitcow racing team? Or?
Oh my god! You know what? I didn't reach out to Wes. Or sorry, excuse me. The Yitcow's racing team did not reach out to Wes Hepburn for a potential deal. So maybe we could get that to work.
Dude, a ravioli costume? That's what I dress up as daily. I had raviolis last night for dinner, too. Wait, no, I didn't. I had tortellinis.
Chef Boyardee. Timbits and a double-double. You know it, bud. Let's go. Bird boy to best boy. I like that. That's funny.
Oh my goodness. What have you done? Have you riled up these Canadians? Are we about to...
yeah.
Are we about to start the War of 1812 over again?
That is not... that was not the war. I don't think that was the War of 1812, Mike. I don't...
Wasn't it?
I don't think so. Someone in chat, please correct him. Please. Because I don't think that was the War of 1812. I think the War of 1812 was over Louisiana. I could be very wrong though. But I do love a good bird of boy myself. I love me my Canadian pals. Some Timbits, and I'm not even Canadian. I'm not Canadian either, and I love me some Timbits. The War of 1812 has a nice soundtrack. You're right. So, Christian Sherrod...
Yeah, it was totally the war... Wait, it totally was the War of 1812. That they burned the White House. You made me second guess...
The Canadians did?
Yes, we burnt their White House, or their House of Parliament, and then they burnt ours down.
The Canadians?
Yes!
It was the British.
It doesn't matter. They're all the same to us Americans.
I love how ladies and gentlemen in chat, we got him. We got Mike to go on an absolute tangent. Wikipedia the War of 1812.
You made me, because you made me second guess my history knowledge, which is a threat to my manhood.
No, I gaslit you really hard. Also, shout out to Kevin Blanchette. Speaking of Canadians, Kevin Blanchette in the 420, Aston Martin, sitting in P2 right now. All right, thanks, Danny buys it as soon as I go on board with him. He switches to the pit lane. It's because we're gonna see the second set of qualifying occur.
Yeah, still some of the even number drivers out on track, finishing up their laps. Likes of, let's see here, who's on an improvement. We have Mike Burkov, who's on an improvement, currently rounding the bus stop chicane, heading towards the start-finish line, looking to make an improvement up a position from P11 to P10.
Also, solid job by Quinn Smith, too, sitting in P4. He was P5 at this point last round. So, if you guys reach 2K followers by August, you should let us choose a costume for you to wear on stream. Well, if you redeem the channel points, 75,000, the costumes are already picked.
Yeah.
I have to be... Youremahboiblu, will squeeze my Pillsbury Dough body into a race suit and helmet, and Mike will fit into a T-Rex costume.
Yes, I will.
I watch Quinn Smith shank it into the wall.
And we will commentate on screen the whole time, too. We'll make sure. Zohan, appreciating me labeling the War of 1812 as Canadians, or you labeling them as Canadians, but it was the British. Yeah, but like...
Not a compliment, though. Yep, not a compliment.
Yeah, but like,
it's awkward.
It was sort of, right? No, okay, let's not start mass controversy. I think I started another war in the Middle East last stream, so let's not start a war between America and Canada.
Oh, don't you know, that would just be, that's worst case Ontario, you know?
Yeah.
I think, Peach.
T-Cello, thank you for the follow. 1971, not 1812.
Beachley has been saving his points for a long time. Yeah, we need an onboard lap for Mr. Daniel.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Thank you. Daniel Versosa, what? That's not who it was for, was it?
No, it was for Wes Hepburn, the bird boy.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was especially requested by Danny.
Okay, so who am I looking at?
Wes Hepburn.
Okay.
The NSX.
Yes, that's
of
what
Wes Hepburn. The guy that won.
Is he?
P1 probably.
Oh, he hasn't set a lap yet.
Hey man, it was pure luck.
Where the heck is he?
He's currently the 501 Honda.
P31.
Christian, don't forget to raise your shields prior to a Rouge this time. Is that a shot at Christian Sherrod? Race Zeus, I believe?
Kyle Hampshire's disqualified.
He disqualified because he was out. He was out during the time he wasn't supposed to be out.
Yeah.
That, in all honesty, that could have been strategic.
I don't think
in the sense. No, I think it might have been in the sense that I was talking with him earlier, and he does have to be up fairly early for some real life stuff tomorrow. So he maybe wanted to be in the race, but I do not know.
Yeah, I don't. Just seems like, I mean, a fair. It is in the rules, so unfortunately, it is a fair punishment in my opinion.
Yes, Zohan. There are multiple Aston V8s. There are no V12s. Both Guzman brothers, Carlos and Jose, are in the Astons. Provolone is in the Aston. Jimmy is in the Aston. Also known as James Rolfe. Jeremy Engelman's in the Aston. Lots of Astons.
Why don't I take it away from here on a lap real quick?
Yep.
As we have Wes Hepburn setting his pole position. Actually, I don't even know. He's probably not going to continue now that I think about it, but we'll see. Continuing here into T1 into La Sauce. Keeps it up. Nice minimum speed heading down towards the Eau Rouge Radillon complex. It's all about setting up the exit onto the Kemmel Straight here. Going to be flat out in 5th gear for the Honda. Does manage to keep it flat, just using all of the track he can there, heading down towards Lacombe. Up into 6th gear, climbing through as we get ready, looking for a braking marker right before the curbing, down all the way, okay, right after the curbing because he's better than me, down all the way to 2nd gear into Malmedy, heading towards the Rivage complex now. Using all of the curbs there, accelerating nicely. He's already broken to the 216s. Can he improve further? Going through Rivage now. Currently about even on his Delta through No Name, heading towards Pouan. As trying to keep it under control here. This is all about trying to keep that Honda from not stepping out the rear end. So volatile, wanting to do that at any opportunity it can, but that was perfect. Just kisses the apex, missing the curb slightly, which doesn't unsettle the curb, which prevents it from unsettling through the Fang Naze. And now heading towards the Stavelos. Little fast on entry, understeers wide, but you can use quite a bit of curb there. Accelerating now up, climbing gears. It's going to be flat out now all the way to the bus stop chicane as we head towards Blanchimont. 5th up into 6th gear, maybe? After Blanchimont, I guess. Ah, screw it. Who needs 6th gear? Oh, there we go. And now braking for the bus stop.
Long gear ratios in the NSX.
Into 1st gear. Climbing up the hill again to head towards the start-finish line. Is there going to be an improvement? I think there is 1/10 improvement, 2:16.4. And that's going to be 4.3 miles around the track for Wes Hepburn.
And I'm getting a report from my race team that my driver has absolutely torched qualifying. Sitting in... Oh, man, Brian, we got to have a talk. Sitting in P21. Don't worry, folks. We got everybody right where we want them. Confident. They think we suck, Brian. That is not the case. Oh, man.
Yet Cow Racing might be looking at getting a new driver here relatively soon.
Ugh. Yeah, Wes, what's your availability, buddy? I've got a sweet NSX machine sitting in my garage, like Chip Ganassi. But yes, great job by the Bird Boy himself. Wes Hepburn sitting at 2:16.4 as we watched Mike take that lap, and near identical setup from last race. Hepburn, Barrera, Bisden, Landry, Rivera is your top 5 as it stands right now. 2 minutes left in quali, so maybe a little bit of time for improvement here as these guys go through. But I'm liking, again, I'm thinking that Quinn Smith is our dark horse for this race. I think we had Kyle Hampshire as our dark horse for last race. But
Yeah, he's not going to be a dark horse in this race, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately. R.I.P. to Kyle Hampshire. He's not dead. He's just disqualified. But
from qualifying.
Yeah. So Quinn Smith sitting in P9. We know that Lexus has some pace, and we know he's got some battle in him. And Andy Mayer. I think Andy Mayer came in top 10 last race. I think he's got more pace in that Porsche. I'm also rooting for Kevin Blanchette in the 420 Aston. He put in a banker. So we'll see how, of course, the big thing is going to be Eau Rouge Radion when these guys get going. That mid-pack is going to be a bit of a doozy. But, you know, chat, let us know who you're rooting for, right?
And, oh no, Barrera was doing so good. He was going for that pole position, but he messes it up, pushing a little too hard through Pouon, and he just absolutely gave up.
Yeah, there's definitely some frustration into that, as Mike would say, tank slapper.
He had a lap together, too. That was a really good lap. He's only 800ths off of pole position, but it looks like it's going to stay that way for now. If anyone else can contest for it, I would imagine the likes of Joseph Kostovich potentially could, but he's actually a good bit off of the pace as well, about 1.3 off. Spa not looking like the best track for him, unfortunately, tonight. Ed Kerstetter in the pits. He will not be improving. Ricardo Rivera has a chance to improve. About a 10th up currently, but he's 9/10ths down off a pole, and actually, well, there goes that, because he just invalidated.
And that's a bummer for Ricardo Rivera out of Puerto Rico. Very, very fast and very, very nice guy. Ricardo Rivera raced against him. Kevin Rivera's a nice guy too, but Ricardo Rivera, he's very, very fast. I raced against him in SFR GT, and the man lapped me a lot, but he is a very, very good race car driver, that is for sure.
And yes, Dan, they are teammates.
Mm-hmm. Yep, F Fusion Racing team.
Marc-Antoine Landry doesn't look like he'll be setting pole. He's about a second off of his previous lap time, so it's going to be a miracle to improve that one.
Also, Mike, keep talking.
All right. Joseph Kostovich here is going to be coming down the back straight. He's making a pretty decent improvement. He's currently 1.3 seconds off of pole, but can gain a lot of ground here. He's 6/10ths up coming through Blanchimont. Be very interesting to see where he comes out. Coming into the bus stop chicane. See cars coming into the pits, and this is actually going to be and he doesn't invalidate. Okay, and coming across the line, starting in P10 to P3. Smasher of a lap there from Joseph Kostovich. 6/10ths off the pace of the two teammates here in the Hondas, the Fusion Racing team. Very, very quick. I think that's an understatement. Last on the track is Aaron Kuhn, currently sitting down in P31. Looking to make a couple positions improvement, potentially. Gaining some time here. Sitting down in P31, currently comes across the line. And up to P30. Over Rocky Rocco there, gains one position. Where is Hepburn faster than Barrera? That's a good question that I don't know if I can look anymore because we just changed sessions. Nope, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't. And we will here get ready for the grid rundown. I haven't had picture-in-picture on. Oops. Well, that's fine. As we get ready here, I think we have 41 drivers on the grid, 42. Wes Hepburn starting off in that pole position. And I will get the banging tunes rolling here momentarily. Okay, it's not too loud, lovely. And we have Wes Hepburn in the 501 Honda, starting in that pole position for the FRT Honda. We also have the Fusion Racing Team teammate of Barrera, starting in P2, Joseph Kostovich in P3 in the 949, Marc-Antoine Landry in the 711, bringing up that P4 slot, Danny Baisden in P5, not the greatest qualifying, I would imagine, for him on his part, but hey, still up there in P5, not the worst. Ricardo Rivera in P6, Kevin Blanchett bringing up that 7th position, Ed Kerstetter 8th fastest in qualifying, followed up by Ollie Raza, then Quinn Smith in 10th. Andy Merritt in P11, Dalton Oxborough bringing up that P12, that's quite the result for him. TJ Washed in P13, nice result for the washed up squid. Dominic Duran in P14, Michael Mooing in P15, did I say 14, 13? Anyways, Bruno Pio in P16, Mike Burkov bringing up that 17th slot, Jeremy Engelman in the 747 Flying Private, bringing up P18, William Collin in P19, Trevor Jackson in P20, Casey Schutte in the 444 in P21. We have Christian Sherrod in P22, Eric Chen in P23, Brian Knappen, oh, I'm sorry, Brian, I should know it, but anyways. Canapan, thank you. In P24, Matt Arteem in P25, Jason Provolone bringing up that 26th slot in the 82. Number 81 in 27th slot, so numbers lining up once again. Brandon Mayer in P28, Andreas Mostachero in P29, Aaron Kuhn bringing up that 30th slot, Rocky Rocco in 31, just getting beaten out by Aaron at the end there qualifying. Marcus Rogers in P32, followed up by George Elmer. We have Carlos Guzman in that P34 slot, followed up by Ross Fallon. I'm Not Jimmy in the 36th position. Eric Gakasian bringing up 37th. Gelson Cruz in P38. Professor Conotis in P39. Jose Guzman in P40. Cardo Sapien in P41. And Kyle Hampshire, who unfortunately went out when he wasn't supposed to in qualifying, having to start in the pits here in P42, the number 97 BMW.
I'm thinking that's strategery.
I can't think of what strategy that could possibly. You can't be planning for a lap 1 incident.
I think he is, though. I think he's hoping to climb through.
I think that's a very bold call from a very, very talented driver. Kyle doesn't need to do that. That's the thing.
Yeah, he doesn't. But I'm thinking that's his thought process there. I believed you, Kevin. I believed you. I had faith in your theory.
I don't buy it.
Also, Ken Blanchett is our first onboard, by the way.
Oh, did we have a redeem? Oh, we did. Okay, I should probably catch up with
but
Shap.
Do it on the next.
Yeah, I got it. I wasn't gonna do it on lap 1.
Hey man, I'm triple checking here. All right, I'm just doing my due diligence. You know, can't hear the guys in the truck, so I'm just checking. I always plan for a lap 1 incident.
Like, the unfortunate answer is yes, but also no. Like, it's a double-edged sword. But I still say Kyle Hampshire is more than talented enough to make it through a pile. He should be qualifying high enough to be above the pile-up. So,
do you know who we're missing tonight?
No.
Former GT3 Tracklicious champion Jakob Padberg.
Oh, you're right.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
That's a little unfortunate.
Expect nothing less than a top 5 from Kyle. I don't know, in this grid.
42 drivers, maybe.
Like I say, I don't think it's the right call. Strategically starting in the pits, and then you were right. It was a 45-minute race.
Yeah. We are missing Nate Lamlin. Nate Lamlin had some IRL stuff that he had to do, so he participated in the Box 3 Bathurst season finale, which was 90 minutes of the mountain. So he participated in that. Instead of this, which was unfortunate because he had no practice for that race. He practiced a bunch for this.
What's up, Nate in chat?
Yeah, he's probably sitting there chowing on some, my best guess, the rarest steak that he could order.
Ooh, still living?
I think he probably orders it with blood. He has been summoned. Yeah, the candle circle was just right. We also have Jake Wells in the chat as well. Shout out to I Suck at This. couple big-time streamer boys in the chat. I suck at this in NML racing.
Quite the hype coming out here tonight for the GT3
lasagna. Now, is lasagna cake, Mike? Because it's got layers?
I don't have the formula on the screen, nor am I going to bring the formula up. But you also got corrected earlier, which I forgot to say, in that you said that, what did you say?
Pop-Tarts were ravioli.
Right, which is incorrect because it's not a meat product. Raviolis have to have meat, but that's so not true because raviolis can have cheese in them, now that I think about it. You can have a cheese ravioli. So whoever said that lies. I also should turn on picture-in-picture because I didn't have that on. I didn't have that on through qualifying. Dude, 3 cheese slaps.
Slaps. And of course, you know what else slaps? Wes Hepburn taking pole position 2 races in a row, and Kostovich, I'm loving that 3rd position from the 949 representative. Racing in VR, was a multiple-time winner of the Enduro series that we had, which is coming back, isn't it, Mike? I'm super excited.
It is coming back. Now is not the time to talk about that, though.
No. Hey, just slight plug.
Yes, yeah, fair enough. That's available on SimGrid if you want some more information right now. But actually, don't even worry about that right now, because right now we have these drivers lining up 2x2, Noah's Ark formation. I'm going to take a sip of water because my throat's really dry, actually. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Luckily, I got plenty of time for these drivers to get on the actual starting line.
Yeah, thankfully Spa gives us enough space. They come through the source and they get started in a weird position here at Spa.
Yes, indeed. As we start the descent to the madness here, 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. Hey, you like that? Wes Hepburn leading us away with his teammate Afonso Barrera side by side. Who is going to take the lead here at the start? I think Afonso is going to want to stick it back to Wes, but we'll see as we're green here at Spa, racing one more time, and it's going to be a really good start for Afonso. He's going to have the inside line coming in, but that's going to be the outside line for the next part of it. Everyone clean through so far. Everyone in the mid-pack as well doing decent. We see some cars off the track, but everyone so far so good. Lovely. Okay, big position changes in the mid-pack here. We see almost 3 wide from the 949 car. I think that is of... Is that? Who is that in 3rd? That is Kostovich up into 3rd position. Holy smokes. And he makes a little bit of contact with Landry in the Audi, the 711 Audi, getting pushed a bit wide, loses that position. But racing on we go. Everyone keeping a level head. So far, we see some side-by-side action from Ollie Raza and Quinn Smith. Or is that Provolone? No, that is Ollie Raza. Because he's in the Flying Private. I'm not used to him in that livery.
Yep, yeah, they are. They're both. They're all in Jeremy Engelman, Ollie Raza, and Provolone. I am also unaccustomed to Provolone being in the. I'm so used to seeing him in that cheesy Audi.
Did I say Afonso? Okay, whatever. Thank you. Yes. Look, I was in the moment. Estefano, excuse me. I think I said it multiple times too. Yeah,
please forgive him. Vowels are not good. It is bad news for Kyle Hamster because Kyle Hamster ends up in P42 and he is quite a slog ahead of him. He's 16 seconds back from the closest car, but maybe he filled up on fuel and he's gonna try an overcut here.
I did say it multiple times. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Dominic Duran, little Porsche on Porsche action. Kevin Blanchett way off.
Holy send and a half! What are we seeing? Yellow flag, boys, slow down. What the heck did we just see?
We got Ed Kerstetter and Kevin Blanchett.
What, I went back and it didn't do anything. There we go. What the heck happened? It was a massive pileup. Car off in the... What the... That's so hard to...
Whoa!
Guys, when you see people crashing in front of you, lift off the freaking throttle. It's not that tough.
Was that washed?
That was a lot.
Washed up squid?
That was a lot of people.
Oh no! Kostovich also off.
That was like too much to digest happening in one incident right there. And there's still more off. 949's off again. Christian Stewart. What is going on? And that's a terrible spot to be off.
Oh, man. Kostovich just goes,
Oh, he's been
gets
stranded
spun
for a
around.
minute there.
Yeah, and he just gets stuck in the wall there. That is a bummer.
Well, there goes the incident that the driver of Kyle Hampshire needed. Puts him up into 32, or P32.
Yeah, it does, which is unfortunate. Now you got Oxborough, P.O., Chen, Kerstetter, Sherrod, Blanchette. You got a bunch. You got a big pile up in the pits. Pit crew's working extra hard early on. It does take care of their pit stop, though.
Yes, it does. Hopefully there's no chaos. Hopefully no marshals or drivers get run over. Or not drivers, excuse me, no pit crews. I said both of the wrong things.
Also, next time that also bumped Brian Canapan, Yitkow's number 40 up into P11. Just thought I'd throw that out there. You know, shameless plug. But next time Kevin Blanchette is out there, we will have to go on board. Because as we were about to go on board with him, he biffed it at that fast semi-straight in Sector 3 that I keep forgetting the name of.
The fast, which not so straight?
The semi-straight in Sector 3 right before the bus stop.
Blanchement?
Thank you, yes. It's on the tip of my tongue every time. Nice little battle for between 26th and 31st. These guys are so close together.
Holy smoke, sorry, but we have Ross Fallon going really tight with Jelson Cruz, and we have Brian Oh no, did I just see a Yitkow? What happened to the Yitkow? Did he go in the pits? I saw a yellow flag momentarily.
I'm hoping that he went to the pits. He is in the pits,
okay.
Yes. Ross Phelan succeeding position to James Rolfe and Jelson Cruz, bopping him down into P24. He's got Guzman right behind him.
Guzman no longer behind him. Almost a little too close behind him, in fact.
And yeah, quite a stend. And I was actually on board with Ross Phelan as I was switching to Guzman, and Jose almost shunted Phelan off. So that would have been pretty rough.
Who brought the Bentley? There's no Bentley, is there?
There is indeed. Eric Chen.
Oh.
In the Bentley. Loving the Bentley.
Eric Chad in the Bentley.
That's right. He's in the Chad boat. Eric Chen, unfortunately, currently sitting P33. Just came out of the pits, however, so. Based indeed.
Here, where's Kyle at currently? Is he ended up in some traffic? Actually, Danny Baston is in the hunt for a podium currently. Likes of Ricardo Rivera in the it's the Puerto Rican E-Racing Club. There we go.
Yep. And the NSX there, and Danny Baston setting currently. He's got that purple little gummy. He's got the fastest lap cookie at a 2:18.3, and Barrera took the lead from Hepburn.
Oh, he did.
There are no older GT3s. The oldest GT3 is probably the Lexus, the Lexi.
There are multiple Lexi on the grid.
Well, there were. Versosa backed out of race 2. Electrical issues.
Kyle Hampshire, I'm going to be honest, I think he's still functionally in last position. No, he's not. Kostovich is behind him officially. But I think that he is still not quite really going to come out in too good of a position after the pit phase.
Well, it's going to be weird. It's going to be interesting.
Holy, 3 wide into the bus stop.
Yeah, look at that. Jelson Cruz, I'm Not Jimmy. DeMarcus Rogers also getting involved in that. Eric Cassian, as well as teammates Chrono, Professor Chronotis.
Oh
Big
my
time.
goodness.
And Guzman going for that move again on the outside.
This is a knife fight in a phone booth, man.
I love that. But the interesting thing is Guzman went for that big send on the outside of La Source 2 laps in a row. That time with much more of a crowd, as Mike pointed out, knife fight in a phone booth. Great analogy, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, Jelson Cruz currently leading this little bit of a parade into the Lacombe chicane here. And it's all back there. They're all 0.3 seconds away from each other. It is insane. And I was about to mention as they were going through the uphill section of Erosion Rayon, Professor Chronotis hunting down Ricardo Sapien. Big ski guy, likes the slopes, so got to think that he really enjoys Spa. Lots of elevation changes here.
Yeah, lovely here in the Ardennes Forest, as I'm not sure if you actually went skiing yourself while we were up here. I know you said we've been here since Thursday. I actually got here on Friday. But
no, I've been enjoying the beer and the food here in Belgium.
Of course, of course.
And apparently, Dan Versosa getting barked at by buddy Ricardo Sapien. I wonder if that's in Portuguese. Send help. He's requesting some assistance. There's quite a train here as we go.
Oh my, jeez, Ross.
Oh wow. I'm on board with Jimmy Rolfe, and Jimmy Rolfe's getting a nice front row into that battle going into Blanchemont, and Ross Valen not taking no for an answer here.
Little bump drafting. Where the heck did Eric Gakassian come from? I think he just broke at his normal mark and didn't expect everyone to break early. But it turns out when you're in a battle, you got to break a little earlier sometimes. Now it puts Ricardo Sapien hot on pursuit.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to just test everyone and maybe try to freak out James Rolfe into giving a position, causing James Rolfe to maybe dive out of the way because Eric was going to dive. So maybe a little psychological warfare there. More Estefano love in the chat.
Yeah, he's doing amazing. Currently pulling away from our previous leader of Wes Hepburn, the Fusion Racing team. Dominant here tonight.
Yeah, currently looking for back-to-back 1-2s. I'm giggling really hard at Daniel Versosa in chat. He was swearing at him in English, if you consider slurs and panic screams English, which is quite funny. But Ricardo Sapien, his buddy that he is in a voice chat with, clearly sitting just behind Eric, the boss, Gakassian. And I'm not Jimmy, or as he's known to most people, Jimmy Rolfe. Sitting at P24, that mid-pack battle is just a doozy. These guys are so fast, man.
These guys don't want to get away from each other.
They don't. They want to sit there and get nice and cuddly and hang out with each other all the time. Danny Bisden, going on a little bit of a trip there. Williams Esports line as he drops down into 6th now. Not the most ideal line as he's dropping down the order a little bit. Loses position to Quinn Smith and now getting pressured by Andy Mayer.
And Estefano with a casual 2:16.79 in race pace.
Yeah, Sunday drive for Mr. Barrera, that is for sure.
And these guys grouping up massively. That Lamborghini is holding up holding up Jelson Cruz quite a bit here.
Yeah, and Ross Phelan probably driving a little bit of a chip on his shoulder from last race because it did not go his way at all. So I would think that we maybe see a little bit more of an aggressive Ross Phelan.
We saw quite an aggressive Ross Phelan last time, as I think he made a little bit of contact. Or no, he got hit, on the side panel.
He got hit, so. Elbows out for the Lamborghini there, the 55 Lamborghini.
I think we're going to see a move here from the Porsche of Cruz. Going super defensive here is the Lamborghini. And that's going to compromise his entrance here into the chicane. Will the Porsche try a switchback, but it gets covered off very nicely, actually.
Yeah, and then just dictating which lines. He's forcing Jelson to stick to those lines and keeping him honest, but Jelson knows where to dive. Jelson knows where to go.
He also has the pace, more importantly, but he just can't quite get the overtake.
And we talk about this almost every time that we stream, right? The nimbleness, the on the balls of the feet that the Porsche is going to raise quite an advantage in certain sections here, as we see Ross Phelan kind of pulling away a little bit in those flatter sections, but through the chicane and part of sector 2, I think Jelson Cruz is going to take an advantage.
Yeah, for sure. And almost gaining a little bit to DeMarcus, but DeMarcus here has actually gained up with Carlos Guzman. I think that's why. These two might start to battle with each other, which will help Ross out. Until it doesn't, I guess. Until they get backed up into him, and then Ross is under even more of a train. But I'm Not Jimmy. Hot on the diffuser there of the Porsche. Is going to be making a move here around the outside of Blanchimont. Going to have the inside line for the bus stop. They almost make contact. In fact, I think they do rub a little bit, but I'm Not Jimmy is fully around off the track, which I don't know how legal that was. Like, but you know, hey,
yeah,
ACC counts it. So
it was a little rough, but had to get the move done somehow. Jelson Cruz probably. Oh, he's just going to pit. I was going to say he probably wanted to maybe ask Jimmy for the position back. Kyle currently sits
not great.
P30.
Not great
P30.
for Kyle.
We are going to see some pit stops here. Danny Beisden jumping into the pits.
The leader is actually 11 seconds away from Kyle Hampshire at this point, so less than ideal.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, I'm telling you he does have a chance for a battle with P1. Not necessarily for P1, but with him at the very least. Now, Kyle's race with that pit start not looking optimistic here, as this field is just so tight. And, yeah, it's going to be a tricky one for Kyle.
It is, as we've said all night long, and we said last week too, it's hyper competitive. And if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen kind of deal. And I think Kyle is finding out that there is some serious heat in this kitchen. That is for sure. Incredibly talented, not the best strat.
Ooh, Jose Guzman getting a little sloppy there through No Name. We'll see, though, as he carries on. Bronson Turner up a little bit further ahead in P16, battling with Andreas Mostichero. That's Stoops Racing McLaren. As this train has managed to develop itself a little bit with Brandon Myers leading it.
And Mike Burkhoff and Jet Engelman about to come together at Blanchimont. Nice driving by these two. Oh.
And yeah, Sapien with a retire, unfortunately. Down to 37 drivers, which I'm not sure where the rest of them went.
Oh, yikes. It's a drive-through for Sapien. And just deciding to save the engine, save the car for next week.
That didn't look fair at all. Hold on. Let's go back and check that out again, even though they're about to go battling in T1, which I probably should have. But that's okay.
Is that a little wide by Casey Schutte there?
I think he got shoved wide.
Oh, Andy Mayer off at Eau Rouge Radiant. Held his brakes. Nice job there.
Maybe. That's hard to tell. Really hard to tell from that angle. Take a look at Andy Mayer. Oh, he's out of the pits.
Nope. No, he is not out of the pits. He just shunted himself at Eau Rouge.
Oh, and
Radiant,
put himself in the pit lane?
And put himself in the pit lane, which is really, look at this, great. For anyone watching at home, stays off the track and goes into the pit lane so people can see him.
Excellent rejoin.
And I think it's Bronson Turner or Aaron Kuhn right there in that McLaren, and just brilliant. Smart move.
Yeah, no, that's
compromised.
That's a textbook rejoin there for Andy Mayer.
Yeah, compromised positions, but didn't ruin everybody else's race. Casey Schutte and Brandon Mayer, nice and close. Look at this: Casey Schutte, Kuhn, Mostichero, Turner, and Rocco. This is the battle. This is the stack up that you were talking about. And Casey Schutte taking it back to his Aston Martin colleague, right through Pouon there. Made it stick. Nice job.
Nice overtake there from Casey Schutte. Absolutely. That takes some serious cojones to go through that very high-speed corner side by side with someone. You need a lot of trust in yourself and the person next to you.
And look at that, Aaron Kuhn. I believe that's Aaron Kuhn trying to get past Brandon Meyer and fend off the Canadian Mastachero.
Yeah, he's definitely got a bit of work to do right now. But kind of stuck. Maybe thinking about pitting. Not sure what his strategy is and how close he is.
They're so, it's just funny, looking at the Helicam view, they are so stacked up together. And this is what makes this Pro Series so cool and so fun, is that they are so competitive with each other. Mastachero looking for a move on Aaron Kuhn. He's going to make it happen at the bus stop. And the Stooge Racing guys get stacked up. Oh, wow, triple pit stop and a double pit stop for Stooge Racing.
Interesting.
That's an interesting team order there. That anticlimactic end of that battle, gentlemen. That's
we did see the overtake.
We did, yeah.
I'm not sure how he got it done so easily. It looked like he didn't even fight it, but I don't know. I would think he would. He had no reason to give up position.
And Brandon Mayer and Casey Schutte, they're still going after each other.
Oh, that's a gamer line.
Yeah, that is the, as we like to say, the esports line. And there goes Brandon Mayer in that turn 1 Aston Martin. Getting it done. Casey Schutte probably doesn't want him to relax too much, however. And Mike Burkhoff and Jed Engelman, another Aston on the field. Excuse me, on the track, on the field. Jeez.
I was honestly, if you didn't say anything, I wouldn't have got it.
Mike Burkhoff hunting down Jed Engelman of that Flying Private Aston Martin 747. Very funny that his nickname is Jet and his number is 747.
Ha ha
ha ha. Yep. We all love a good dad joke, and Jed Engelman provides.
You're already on board with him. We don't need to double on board.
Nope.
Mike, quite the good attacker. We'll see what he can manage here. Jet and Mike, good friends, so no love lost between them here in this scrapping, I would imagine. And here we go. We're going to see the move into the bus stop chicane down the inside from the Ferrari, but the gap gets closed off. Both drivers stay out another lap and continue. We got 24 minutes and 18 seconds as these drivers come across the line for the 9th time here at Spa-Francorchamps. Currently, Mike Burkhoff in P7, following Jeremy Engelman. Wes Hepburn, is he? Oh, he's side by side with Jelson Cruz. Oh, okay, got it. Ricardo Rivera coming out of the pits, losing positions as we speak, is going to come out in traffic. Mike Burkhoff just struggling to get that move done.
Yeah, just being patient, picking the right time, but time's got to come quicker than that, Mike. Of course, Mike, the only driver representing Nepal, and he loses the Ferrari a little bit.
Oh my! Speaking of losing,
loses the Aston. Oh no! And he loses 2 positions because Cologne goes right by him as well.
Let's see what happened there. Jet a little hot into the chicane.
I want to say it's a little snap of...
Oh, just way too wide onto the gravel.
Yep, well, it's onto that weird... It's not tarmac. It's just a weird AstroTurf type of material, and if you accelerate on it or if you brake on it, it causes some unsettling in the car, and there we go. There's a pretty prime example of why you shouldn't touch the stuff.
Yeah, and Jason Provolone in P33 with the drive-through penalty.
And that is a little bit of a doozy for the cheese man. Also, we got a nice little stack in the pits. Schutte, Rocco, Rolf, the boss man, Eric, the boss, Cassian, and Jose Guzman all stacked up in the pits. Looks like Goose and Rocco are going to get out first. Excuse me, Casey Schutte beat him out. I'm Not Jimmy, right ahead of Jose Guzman and Eric Akassian coming out right behind them. So nice little stack up there. Great pit stop. The pit stop. Jeez. Marc-Antoine Landry, Raza, and Quinn Smith taking the pit. Cologne and Engelman also taking a pit, and I bet you anything, Engelman is probably going to pit for some damage. Your thoughts?
What happened to Jet? Oh, after that barrier hit? Man, I don't think so. He didn't hit the ball that hard. He could go without repairing the damage if he wanted. I mean, potentially. I don't know how much it's affecting the car, but he kind of grazed the barrier. I think he should be able to get away with that.
And we got a big, nice pit crews are getting busy again. As we were talking about him, Elmer, the other Guzman brother, Carlos, the 949 representative, Joseph Kostovich, Mr. VR himself, and then, of course, Marcus Rogers also coming into the pits. So pit crews getting busy, tires coming off racks, wheel guns getting ready.
You take it for a minute, because I got to do the same.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Matt Artem, who we didn't see a whole lot of in race 1, but he's currently sitting in P4. Don't believe he's pit just quite yet, but he currently is trying to get on the tail of Mike Burkhoff. Mike Burkhoff has a pretty substantial lead on Matt Artem. Burkhoff has got a pit at some point in time, as a big chunk of the field has pit behind him. So strategy-wise, this may not have worked. Ali Raza and Quinn Smith, along with Marc-Antoine Landry, have all left the pits. Cologne probably not too terribly far behind him as we go to Rocky Rocco here, as he looks to hunt down Bronson Turner. I'm really glad Stooch Racing is not in their Carl's Jr. Hardy's cars for this series, because I would be a hungry, hungry little boy, that is for sure. We got some stinky cheese in the chat from Wet Sox, ever classic emote. Rooting on Jason Provolone, who had a drive-through penalty, takes his pit now, and the pit lane here is so gnarly. And Matt Artem looks like he's also taking the pit. He's currently still on the lead lap. It's a nice job. Raced against Matt Artem myself in the Endurance Series. Really solid driver himself. And Barrera taking the pit, the 369 Fusion Racing Team NSX. Both Fusions have done a fantastic job here today at Spa. Coming in first and second last race. Should be another 1-2 for them if the strategy goes the way they want it to. Mike Burkhoff, we're talking about him a lot here right now, but it's because he's currently sitting P2, and I think he's going for a really hardcore overcut, which could play into his favor, but usually the overcut doesn't work. Let's get a sit rep on Mr. Hampshire. Hampshire actually currently trying to hunt down Casey Schutte. Good buddies, spent a lot of time in VC together. And not a move available for Hampshire to take on Schutte, but they go into Blanchimont here right into Sector 3. Oh, nothing there. I definitely thought Hampshire maybe was going to try to dive down the inside. Easy for me to say, right? Let's see if Kyle Hampshire hit a little later on the brakes than Casey Schutte. There's that inside opening up. Doesn't want contact. And there you see the battle right behind him as well. Mastachero, Meyer, and Mr. VR, Joseph Kostovich, right behind him. Nice little stack here.
Yeah, I maybe wrote off Kyle Hampshire a little bit too early, as he has.
You know what? I think I did too.
Managed to bring himself back up into the points quite a bit here. Starting in the pit lane, he has managed to make up quite a few positions. Matt Artem coming out of the pits in front of them. Let's see if this impedes them or if he actually comes out ahead of them. I think he will be firmly ahead. We'll see if Kyle can get this move done. He's going to have to take the long way around. He will have the inside for the second part of the chicane. But can he hold it into the second part of the chicane as they go side by side? And he manages to keep it alongside for now.
It's a little bit of a pyramid, a little bit of a three-way here between Mastachero, Schutte, and Hampshire. Mastachero's trying to find his position in this battle. And there goes Kostovich, making it a bit of a crowd, and Brandon Meyer in the turn 1 Aston, making it more company.
Oh, it is
Look
Meyer.
At that.
Oh my goodness, we're so dumb.
It's Meyer. I've been saying Meyer.
I haven't.
Oh, well, that's your fault. And you know what we haven't been looking at? Kyle Hampshire making a pass on Casey Schutte through Puon. Look at that. Nice job there done by the man out of Manchester. Casey Schutte a little later on the brakes, letting Kyle know that he's still going to race him hard. But there is still that nice little look at this between 13th and 21st. These guys are all within sniffing distance of each other. And that is what makes this series so much fun. Wes Hepburn taking P2. He's in the pits now. And Barrera is going to overtake him in the pit lane.
Mike Burkov, our current race leader,
has not pit yet.
We'll see where he ends up coming out after the pit phase. As we see, Estefano taking the quick line through Eau Rouge Radion and using a bit more track than is called for. But we see some side-by-side bumping and banging there between the Aston Martin and BMW. We got Meyer battling with Mastachero here. I think Meyer was behind, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't...
Oh, and a little bit of a bump there by George Elmer on Mastachero, I believe. The Lexus, the 22 Lexus kind of gave Mastachero a little bit of a boost going into La Source there. Not a boost that he wanted. It was not requested.
We'll see if the overspeed of this BMW can manage anything on the Aston Martin. Both pretty equally matched in their top speed, I think.
Yeah, the Aston Martin probably is a little bit better in a straight line than the BMW. And look at right behind him, one of the Guzmans and Elmer. Oh, they were going side by side. Bronson Turner almost thought he could sneak in, and Rocky Rocco trying to sneak in there as well. Man, this midfield is an absolute joy to watch.
Yeah,
my
goodness, it really is. Ed Kerstetter a bit further back, battling with Pio and taking that position.
Yeah, that was a forceful one for sure. Just Ed Kerstetter using that experience that he has and making it stick on Pio. Ross Phelan sitting in P27 right now as he's looking down. I believe that's Eric Gakassian in front of him. Yep, Eric the Boss Gakassian.
And DeMarcus Rogers in front of them, followed by I'm Not Jimmy. And these guys heated up. There's little heated scraps everywhere right now, which, as we've seen before, can lead into some massive melees. George Elmer side by side here with Bronson Turner. Rocky Rocco following behind, trying to get anything he can, but he spins the Lexus, and the Lexus is round. Good avoidance from the McLaren there.
Man, nice race instinct there by the Stitch Racing McLaren, but that is such a bummer for both Rocco and Elmer. Rocco more than likely obviously didn't want to hit him. But if you look at this onboard, the mic's on right now. Oh, just a little tap. Oh, a little tap of the brake, and it all goes a little haywire. That's unfortunate. Reviewable by the stewards, but that is such a bummer.
Yeah, no, it absolutely. I hate to see it.
Best outcome though, only one car gets bumped, not multiple. It could have been a nice little four-way incident there, and it's not. So, bummer for Elmer as he's raced really, really hard, really, really well so far in that Lexus.
Man, we have a Honda 1-2-3 right now, but Landry is trying to break that and make this a 1-2 Honda with an Audi up there as well.
Yeah, he wants to be the Audi filling of a NSX sandwich. And that 711 Audi has performed really well. We've seen him in the two-man series, as well as I believe in the Enduro series. He also participated in a Box 3 NA Cup series, and he is wicked quick. out of our friends to the north, who we found out started the War of 1812.
I don't know who started it.
But I'm going to finish it. Because Marc-Antoine Landry is hunting down Ricardo Rivera, and Ricardo Rivera's just got to stay the course for this one.
Ooh.
He's got 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Ross Phelan defending from Gakasi in there.
Brandon Meyer, what happened to him? I can't switch
Boss
to him.
gets that move done.
I think Brandon Meyer must have disconnected. I can't switch to
That.
him. Yep, he is now gone off track, so.
Oh, no. The Turn 1 Aston. Arguably one of the coolest cars on the grid. Oh no, that sucks. We are down to 34 drivers, so we have had some DNFs. 34 for Z. That was really, really
beat
fun
him.
time.
Yeah, you beat him by a millimeter, microsecond, whatever. You can measure time and distance the same, can't you?
Yeah, beat him by a millimeter, boys.
Andreas Mostachero hot on the tail of Casey Schutte here.
Oh, look at that. Speaking of millimeters.
Coconut sensation. BMW trying to make moves onto the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin going very defensive, but Andreas has a drive-through penalty and is going to be serving that.
Oh, man. I just watched Jose Guzman come back on track right in front of a Lexus, who I believe was Elmer. Had to have been Elmer. And, man, it was a wow. It could have been really bad. But it wasn't, thankfully. Mostachero taking that drive-through, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Forzy, we share a brain cell, that is for sure. And look at that. Ross Phelan making sure Gakasi knows he's there. Doesn't want to hit him, doesn't want to get yelled at, right? That's a joke, by the way.
A bit further up. Bronson Turner here.
Racing.
He's making some moves onto the Aston Martin of Carlos Guzman, potentially. Stooch Racing.
DeMarcus Rogers off at Radeon.
Let's see what happens.
Don't back up.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, he is in the pit lane, though, and look at that. It bundled up. There's a Mercedes there. That's Guzman and Pio. It bundled those two guys up, and he just lost it. Bonk.
Manages to park it right, but jeez!
Dios mío. Oh, man.
Yeah, don't do that. We saw exactly what to do earlier. That is exactly what not to do.
Yeah.
Luckily, avoiding collision there. That was close, though.
And now this mid-pack gets nice and close again. There's a little bit of a spread, and then it cranks back together due to mistakes, due to pace, probably a little bit of fatigue, too. These guys just ran half an hour, and then now they're running another 45 minutes. So testing the equipment, testing the machines, testing the drivers, that is for sure.
Yeah, 2:16.4 from Wes Hepburn, fastest lap set by him.
I think he can go faster. I think Wes knows he can go faster, too. Ed Kerstetter currently sandwiched between a Guzman and a Pio. And Kerstetter trying to make something happen here. A little Dale Earnhardt Jr. move, pass on the grass.
Oh, and Pio is going to be trying to get involved here as well, get by Guzman.
Yeah, we now have, and it's becoming a little bit of a crowd because Chrono, Professor Chronotis, he knows how physics works.
He does.
Just sitting back there waiting for one ball to drop, and he's going to take advantage of it. He's also latest on the brakes right there.
Much appreciated. Thank you for being here as well.
Yes. Sleep is for the weak. W-E-A-K.
Yeah.
Although right after this, we both know Mike, Nause, and I are both going to go straight to our pillows.
I need
instantaneously.
Food. I need food. I'm on the West Coast, so I have no excuse. It's only 8 for me.
Oh yeah, you're doing all right. It is very funny that our commentating crew is on opposite ends of the country.
Aaron Kuhn makes a little bit of rubbing with Rocky Rocco, and he ends up round.
That's a bummer for Stooch Racing because they're running right next to each other. Would have been a cool podium.
That was the attempted overtake from the McLaren. And that's just what happens sometimes when you go around the outside, unfortunately.
Around the outside, yeah. And I think he was being a little too aggressive there. And it cost him, clearly. And I like Kronos' strategy here. He's playing it safe, but he's also in a nice distance to where he can take advantage of a mistake. He's kind of like a great white shark. A great...
He might have that opportunity soon. That blood is going to be in the water as Guzman runs wide into Puon. Pio gets by. Lovely overtake from him. We'll see if Kronos can make anything of it. Guzman is weak, clearly. And that's a big slide from Guzman. That's going to give the opportunity to Kronos, but he manages to hold it. Wow.
A nice save. Good driving there by Jose to maintain that track position. But Chrono, yep, that was a little bit of chum in the water there for Chrono. As he sits there as Chris Moses makes fun of us for sitting at the same desk, even though we're on opposite sides of the country.
Of course, even though we're on the opposite side of the world right now, in Belgium.
Yeah, obviously,
currently.
we're in the middle of the forest, Chris. Come on.
Joseph Kostovich and Kyle Hampshire, two titans going at it here.
Yeah, Mr. VR himself and the man from Manchester.
Please back out. Oh, thank goodness. Oh my, neither of them kind of, well, I mean, I guess.
Oh, not giving each other a millimeter or a millisecond, as Mike would say.
At least they both cut the track, so they're equally.
You can't penalize everybody if everybody does it, right?
No, you still can.
Kostovich wanting to... Another situation where blood is in the water. Kostovich has, I would say that the 488 is a weaker car here, but he is a good driver. Now, Hampshire, not a knock on him. He's a really good driver, but he's got a better car here. I would say that the BMW is a better car here.
Yeah, I think we had this conversation, didn't we? Oh, my set.
Oh. Kostovich getting aggressive. 5 minutes left in the race. And Kostovich probably not too terribly happy sitting in P14 when he qualified. I believe it was P4, P5?
He qualified in P3.
Oh, yikes. I was going a little low, wasn't I?
He's down 11 positions from where he started, but Kyle Hampshire is up 29 positions from where he started. He started in P42 in the pits, and he's up in P13, so lovely recovery drive from him.
And Kyle being a consummate pro that he is, racing hard and doing what he can for the Tracklicious esports team. So, I mean, kudos to him. Love getting spectrumed. I used to work for him. Have nothing but nice things to say. Currently, right now, as we're live. But yeah, we can talk about that, Brandon. So sorry about getting Spectrum, man. That does suck. Electrical, another ECU failure. We saw it with Dan Versosa. Bad electronics in the Lexus, and it strikes an Aston Martin. So that sucks. Of course, next week we go racing again, don't we?
Yeah.
Same time, not the same place, however. We'll be racing in good old Silverstone. There goes Coasty. Coasty trying to make it happen. He's on the outside going into...
He has it done, though.
Chicane complex here. It's done. There it goes. Nice job there by Kostovich just to make that stick. I don't think Kyle Hampshire gave up. I think Kostovich just saw an opportunity and snatched it.
Yeah, he definitely didn't let that go without a fight. Kyle is going to probably stick with him, but I think that Kostovich has the pace, which is interesting. As you said, I think that Kyle has the better car here, and but just doesn't quite have the pace. The Ferrari looking quite strong for P13.
You got to think Kostovich may have a little bit more scuffed setup for that 488, and that comes with just experience. And I think Kostovich really likes a car that drives well for longer periods of time. We've seen him really impressive drives in enduros, so I think he likes that comfy car, a nice balanced ride, whereas Kyle is maybe a little bit more aggressive. So interesting split between those two.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we will see our driver.
Rocky Rocco.
Well, okay, no, this isn't going to be. He's halfway through the lap. But yeah, Rocky Rocco here making gains on
Guzman.
Carlos Guzman.
I find it very funny that both Guzmans went with the, of course, being twins. They went with the same car as well.
Who would have thought two brothers can agree on something?
Yeah, a minute and a half left in the race. Are we going to see any major bombs here? Danny Beisden hunting down Marc-Antoine Landry. Landry was not able to become the Audi filling of a NSX sandwich.
Professor Canotis all over Jose here.
Yeah. Brandon, I would recommend getting your own modem, especially if you do a lot of stuff on the internet. If it is a Spectrum modem, it's pretty cheap and pretty basic, so I would suggest getting your own modem. Which is funny, it's probably what the tech suggested when you were there. So there's a little internet help for you guys. 40 seconds, we're in the last, more than likely, second to last lap?
No,
lap?
This is going to be, well, this is the second to last lap, yes.
Yep,
There will be one more lap after this.
Gotta give shout outs to the FRT team. Wait, the FRT guys, because it's Fusion Racing team, so I can't say FRT team.
The Fusion Racing team guys.
Yeah, the FRT team. Anyway, it's late, I'm tired, but they have done a fantastic job as far as Barrera and Hepburn goes, and the Berta boy taking race one.
Danny Beisden with a drive-through penalty.
Oh no, Danny! Oh, Carbone, mi amor. That sucks.
And he is going to have to serve that this lap.
That is
honestly though, I think he would have been better not serving it. I think taking the 30-second penalty and just crossing the line would have been better, because it's going to be way more than 30 seconds coming through the pits.
Yeah, it's like a 90-second, like a 90-second ride through that. So yeah, that's a bummer. I'm a big Danny Beisden fan, so.
Yeah, it's like a 90-second penalty. Yeah, no, exactly. That's.
Yep.
This is
also
the roughest
nice
pit lane on the track.
Nice little Eric Chen, Kostovich, and Kyle Hamster.
Yeah, Bentley up in 12th position.
Loving it.
For now, at least. We'll see if that changes by the end of this lap.
I got a Lexus in P6.
Never mind. It will change, because Danny Beisden's going to get overtaken.
Yep, I got a Lexus in P6, and I got a Bentley in P11 right now. So I'm a pretty happy camper. My driver, however, the guy I paid loads of money to.
Kyle Hamster and Kostovich side by side here, coming down the Kemmel Straight.
Oh man, just duking it out. Same exact spot where Eric Chen blocking that pass option.
And he's gonna he gets on the brakes in time. He almost went right into the side there of Joseph Kostovich.
Yeah, and Kyle Hampshire, we were talking about racing with chips on their shoulders. Kyle Hampshire's another one. He had a little bit of a doozy of a race against Ed Kerstetter in race 2 in Suzuka, and they kind of got into it a little bit. Ooh. So he needs to finish this race. For Kyle Hampshire, finishing this race where he's at, clean, without incident, is going to be huge and just an improvement over Suzuka.
Is Andreas out of fuel? No, he was. Oh, I see what he was doing. He didn't want to. He just wanted to wait for the leaders so he didn't have to do another lap.
They're slowing down. So is Mastachero doing the same thing.
No, that's who I was talking about. Pio, I'm not sure what happened to Pio.
I'm a silly little goose.
Maybe been thinking that the race finished a lap earlier. I'm not sure. But battles continue on track. Though the checkered flag has fallen and Estefano has taken the win, along with Wes Hepburn and Ricardo Rivera.
Pio has a checkered flag, so he finished with them. I'm looking in his car right now.
He shouldn't have a checkered flag. He did not. So.
Oh, Rutro Raggy. How does Mastachero have one, but Pio doesn't? Pio's in 29th.
I just switched.
And Mastachero's in 30th.
I switched off the battle as soon as it got hot because I.
No. Sorry. Stay.
I read chat. Kyle Hampshire finishes in P13 behind Joseph Kostovich. These guys hot on each other's tail, every single one of them. Carlos Guzman leading this P17 of Aaron Kuhn. I'm Not Jimmy and Danny Baisden to the checkered flag here. Professor Kenotis as well, battling with Jose all the way down to the bitter end. Oh, takes the curb, and that's going to be it for him. Oh my, no. Oxborough is parked it in the... Dude, you can't park there. You don't want to park there. And he loses the position to Kevin Blanchett. Kevin Blanchett gifted P27 at the very end there through Dalton Oxborough's error.
And that's a bummer. Another Stooch Racing. A little bit of a Stooch Racing blunder in race 2, but Aaron Kuhn, of course, had one. And Bronson Turner, DNF, question mark? I don't see a... Oh, there he is, P12, so...
Oops.
Well, that was a blast.
Yes, it was.
That's two races. That's me in a green screen.
There we go. Yep, we got there. I tried to preemptively switch, but it didn't work. But yeah, Estefano, Wes Hepburn, and Ricardo Rivera. We'll see what we can get in terms of interviews from them.
I would love to hear from the Berta Boy, but yeah, Silverstone 90 minutes next week. Man, that's gonna be a blast. And then of course, we have a special guest for P Cup next week. Do we not?
Yes, I think so. It might not be next week though. Let's not go ahead of ourselves on that one. We'll see.
Well, hey, I'm getting people hyped. If not, it will be me, but I can be a special guest. I can be whoever you want me to be, Mike.
True.
Green light. Go.
I'm trying to work on pulling people, but this is... Hey, I don't even know. Where's anyone at? Is there any... We might just have no interviews tonight. We'll see. I know we had the significant other of one of them in chat. Can you get their butts in the Discord?
Yeah, Atomic Beauty, can you please snag Wes Hepburn? We'd love to talk to him. Wes Hepburn and Ricardo Rivera, if possible.
And the other QR or FRT.
Yes.
Hey, thank you, Holly, for being here.
Yep. Thank you, Holly. We appreciate it. We worked very, very hard on our talking ability. I'm glad we were able to entertain you. That's the point.
And I'm going to be honest, don't think we're going to have an interview.
Bummersville, USA. Population, Mike and I.
Why don't we raid Race Zeus, though? Sounds like a great
Christian
target.
Sherrod?
Christian indeed.
Yep, he should be probably doing some LFM. He's a big LFM guy. He's also known as Rage Zeus because he does have a little bit of rage in him. It's a good quality to have in a race car driver. But yeah, we get to do this all next week at Silverstone. And I am super stoked for this. This is so much fun. We have no time to think. We just have time to look at these guys and watch them go fast. It's killer.
Yeah, and thank you, everyone in chat, for being here, as we had actually quite the viewership on this stream. Much appreciated. Thanks for everyone for following and subscribing and being a part of this awesome community here. Big thanks to Box3949, my boy Blue, who's next to me in the booth here in Germany. Germany? We're in Belgium.
Belgium. Yep, we're definitely
it's close
in Belgium.
enough.
Of course, if you...
It depends on who you ask.
Yes, yeah. If you guys want to, I, of course, help facilitate Box 3 races. If you look at Box 3 on SimGrid, we're all over there. Trackalicious, we run Monday Night Rookie Series, Thursday night events, things like that. I stream myself as well. Youremahboiblu on Twitch. Mike Nause is always online doing something with Trackalicious. So we appreciate the cross promotion love, and it'll be a lot of fun for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, we're going to send this over to Race Zeus, so make sure you guys go say hi to him, give him some Trackalicious love. And thanks everyone for being a part of the stream tonight. And I hope you guys have a great one.
Time to go board a plane.